under this blue. Let's have it right. Up the Chelsea, up the Minerals FC. Let's have it right. Minerals FC. Gaffer, you got the Minerals, yeah? Love it. Got the Minerals, TT.
Hey, Johnny's got the fucking Minerals, mate.
So have it right. Up the Chelsea, up the Minerals FC. Hope everyone is doing good. Let's have it right. We're doing a little special one today, people. Yeah, a special landing of the Minerals on the Minerals FC channel. Yeah. First and foremost, everybody, like the video. Very important to like the video. If you haven't subscribed, then please subscribe to the channel. Everything in the description below. I've got my membership scheme for Minerals FC. So I'd love everyone to be part of that as well. And as always, thank you for supporting the channel. And I hope you can enjoy this video today. So, by popular demand, by my Twitter being added continuously, without further ado, we're going to get into some serious mud in here. Yeah, we're going to land the Minerals on the great Younes. The great Younes. We're going to get into the nitty gritty of things, people. Let's have it right. So, we're going to go straight into it, guys. Straight into it. Let's see what this fella's got to say. This is going to be the first time I'm watching this, but I've been told, I've been given a clip of the time frame of what they would like me to listen to. So, I'm going to do that, people. And I'm going to see what this fella's got to say. And I think it's going to be quite interesting, people. It's going to be quite interesting. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. Here we go. Right, let's blow this up for everybody. Let's blow it up. Let's land these Minerals now. Let's go.
But I can't say that's not true. Gallagher's been atrocious today. Atrocious. Let himself down, let the team down. But this is where I give a little bit of praise. After going down to 10 in that first half, we still did look a bit shaky. But the response afterwards was actually quite admirable.
Well, we looked shaky after going down to 10 men because we were playing a back four. We were playing a 4-3-3, which we don't play because the gaffer hasn't got the options to play that system that he actually wants to play, which we're most comfortable with, which is the 3 at the back, which you should know, obviously. Wing back system, 6-6 pivot, and the 3 in the attack. Where we played at fantastic against Spurs. But due to injuries in key departments, due to the simple fact that we've got no Koulibaly, we don't have Fofana in yet, the gaffer was limited on the centre-back, so we had to play the back 4. So let's start off with that from what I'm taking from this.
to be fair to Chelsea, being down to 10, at times it didn't look like we were down to 10.
No.
So fair play to everyone that actually managed to help make that happen.
Well, that's because we went back to our orthodox sort of Tuchel system of the three at the back. Everyone knows what they're doing when they play in that system. In the back four, when do we ever play a back four?
But if we're talking about the struggle after that, then we finish the first half. Then Thomas Tuchel makes one.
Well, we struggled after the red card because the gaffer wasn't in the dugout. He had to wait till half time and we had to keep the back four. And that's why we did fantastic as a team to ensure that we don't make any mistakes, don't get caught out in possession, and we didn't go 1-0 down going into half time. So credit to the players on the pitch for that.
Change to rectify the starting 11 that he came up with in the first place, which is my opinion anyway. Weirdly enough, I didn't even think this sub was going to make a difference, but Aspie coming on for Mason Mount changed the game. Changed it.
Yeah, it did change the game. It was a fantastic tactical change by the gaffer, Super Tommy T. But let's see if you know why that was such a great change. Let's see the reasons for it. What are you going to say, fella?
And we have to have a convo about Mason now.
Oh, we have to have a conversation about
Based
Mason,
on how I saw things happen today, from when Mason was on and to the moment that he came off, two different Chelseas.
Right, two different Chelseas. In the first half, and I was at the game, I had a perfect view of the game. I had a perfect view of the back four setup. I had a perfect view of seeing Gallagher in the centre of the midfield three with Jorginho on the left and Loftus-Cheek on the right. Reece James playing right back, Cucurella left back. Chalobah paired up with the GOAT, Thiago Silva. I saw Mason Mount on the right, Kai Havertz in the middle, Sterling on the left. That's what I saw. Then you lost Conor Gallagher and it stayed the same. A back four with two midfielders, which we've never played. When did any of the frontliners get the ball? When did they get the ball, fella?
Two completely different Chelseas. And I'm not just talking about the entire shape. I'm talking.
Well, this is the thing. You have to talk about the entire shape because the entire shape is exactly how we've won the Champions League, how we've been so successful under Thomas Tuchel. That is the shape that suits the players that we have in the squad perfectly. But the gaffer is limited at this moment in time with who he can play. He's got no Kante Kovacic in the double six. He has to play Gallagher. Gilmore's not fit. Ampadu's not fit. He's thrown Chalobah in there. There's no minutes leading into this game, playing in a back four, which he's never done. When does he play in a back four? When does Thiago Silva play in a back four? So obviously, making a change in the formation is going to make every player on that pitch comfortable. It goes without saying. If you've got any ball IQ, if you understand how Chelsea play, which I'm sure you do, mate. I'm sure you do.
I'm talking about the midfield and our attack and the fluidity and the space and the freedom that all of a sudden everyone looked like they had.
We had that because we were compact. We were sitting back, absorbing pressure, and we were relying on Kai Havertz's hold-up play and we were relying on Sterling's pace because we were limited. All right. Excuse me, fella. Yeah. So you have to understand that Jorginho goes back into his double six position, which suits him, and Loftus-Cheek was there. And he brought Dave on because Dave was the only option to play on the right side, and he played Trev on the left side. So you had a natural back three, you had a wing back system, which allowed us to create width, to run into space, so we could actually have possession and outlets to get out of trouble when we're in a defensive phase. We didn't have that in the first half. In the first half, it was slow, lethargic. Our attackers didn't get the ball in quick enough in the right positions. Mason Mount was in so many positions during that first half, never received the ball. And when they were going to make the pass, when it was Loftus-Cheek, as I remember, one specific moment, and he plays the ball, and it gets intercepted, and then we get hit on the attack. And Mace has to track back to try and help his teammates to recover the ball. But when was he ever given the ball in the right positions? Because Mason Mount is elite off the ball, getting in the positions to help his teammates in pockets. There's no wing-back system. Reece James and Cucurella haven't got that freedom, that license to bomb it up and forward because you'll expose Thiago Silva and Chalobah. And then on top of that, you got a slow Loftus-Cheek, you got a slow Jorginho, and you got a Gallagher running around trying to recover, overworking, trying too hard. So already you're overexposed in the midfield. Your defense would be exposed and was exposed, and the whole balance of the team wasn't there. That's why.
The moment Mason came off, we were a lot more quicker. Cucurella got a lot more involved on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
He had license to bomb more
Why
forward.
are you bringing up Cucurella on the left-hand side when Mason Mount was playing on the right-hand side? What logic is that, geezer? Tell me.
All of a sudden, we saw players coming more inside. There was a little bit more of a link-up happening both on the left and the right-hand side. Everything just looked a lot more mobile. For that first 15, 20 minutes of the second half, I was looking at this and going, I'm actually not scared now.
Because the gaffer put us in our normal formation, mate. That's why. It's got nothing to do with Mason Mount. So what's the agenda here?
We actually look like we know what we're doing now in attack. This is great. Cucurella
So you're trying to have a dig. When we've got Mason Mount in our attack, we don't know what we're doing. Is that what you're actually trying to say, geezer? Because that's what I'm hearing right now. That's what I'm hearing. You're trying to pinpoint that Mason Mount is the reason in the attack, but disregarding the shambles in midfield. The three in midfield that were an absolute shambles. No minerals there. No fluidity. No quick transitions. All slow and lethargic. But you want to pinpoint because Mason Mount comes off. Mason Mount was a tactical change. And the reason it's tactical, and I'll educate you, Sunshine, yeah, is that it makes us go back three and he brought on Dave. That's it. We went from a back four to a back three. Because he's one man down, he's got the option to do that. Because who are you going to play in that front line? All the other players that are options. Hudson-Odoi, he's leaving the club. Hakim Ziyech leaving the club. There's no Lukaku and Timo Werner unless you would like to bring them back. And then you've got Pulisic, who's an unhappy Pulisic. Who else are you going to play? You want the gaffer to play Pulisic? No problem. Let's see if the same agenda's for Pulisic like this.
Sterling, those combinations, they were nowhere to be seen in the first half. Why? Because Mason was in the middle of it.
Wow, because Mason's in the middle of it. Do you know how many times Mason Mount was on the far right because we didn't have the wing back width? He was trying to stretch them. Yeah. So where are you going that Mason's in the middle of it, fella? What are you trying to say here? Yeah. You're trying to come out and blame Mason Mount for the lack of fluidity and link up play. How many times did Sterling lose that ball in the first half? How many times? Countless times he lost the ball. What about Cucurella? What about Gallagher and Jorginho? What about Loftus-Cheek? But we want to blame Mason Mount. Seems like a little bit of a cancel culture going on here. If I'm seeing things right, yeah?
I don't know what's wrong with Mason, but this season so far, he's been a disaster.
We've played 4 games. 4 games. The first game at Goodison Park, we scruffed it out. None of us we're not balanced. We weren't playing well. We had no match fitness coming from America, and we won the game at Goodison. But everyone wanted to add their 10 pence to it. Yeah. After that, we play Spurs. Completely nullify them. Completely play them off the park. Yeah, and we got robbed. Then we go to Leeds, and we have an injury. No Kovacic, no Kante. You throw Gallagher in the double six, who's not played there in the Premier League game in his full debut, and you're going to blame Mason Mount not being very good. Not being very good. Where was the quick transitions of play when you have Kante and Kovacic? They're not there. Gallagher doesn't give you that. He was off the mark. Jorginho gets exposed. Our midfield gets overrun, and we were pressed relentlessly by Leeds, and that's how we lost the game. Yeah? Other than the red card from Koulibaly later on in the game. All right. And then we go into this game against Leicester. The whole first half, where was the possession-based football? Where was the quick transitions? Not there again. Even worse, with a back four. And you have the audacity to come out and say because Mason Mount was in the middle of it, that's why we lacked fluidity. That is absolute bangers and mash waffle, son.
A disaster. Slow, lethargic, doesn't know what decision to make, loses the ball way too many
How
times.
can he lose the ball too many times when he didn't even get the ball? Do you know in that first half, Mason Mount hardly got that ball in the first half? Hardly got it. Do you know why? Because the midfield three take too many touches, go sideways, no outlets, no wing backs, backwards, forwards, sideways. Where's the transition? Where's the ball's out? And when it goes out to Sterling, he loses the ball. But you don't want to pinpoint that because the geezer scored 2 goals. And fair play to Sterling. He bagged the 2 goals, yeah? In our natural, comfortable position of 3 at the back, wing back system, all right? But we weren't playing that in the first half. So you've isolated Mason Mount. So what impact do you expect to get out of the game? Tell me. I'd love to know, but you want to blame Mace. Let's go.
Times, holds others back, it seems.
He's holding
And
others
I'm
back.
gonna say
Are you
it,
taking the absolute fucking piss? You are. You're taking the piss, mate. You're trying to tell me our player of the season for the last 2 years, arguably our best player for the last 3 years, is holding our team back. But you want to disregard the midfield. You want to disregard the back 4 in that first half. That's how I know you don't know ball, son. You clearly don't. You want to get these clicks right now. You want to impress all the little hipsters, all the Mason Mount haters. You want to get them on board, don't you? That's what you're doing right now. So let's keep it rolling. Let me hear what garbage you got to spit.
Yeah, I know it's going to be a hard one for some people to take because Mason is the poster boy, isn't he?
Oh, so we're landing up this poster boy business. Did you know, fella, that the poster boy term is from all the Mason Mount haters? That's what they say. And you're saying poster boy. Do you know what that looks like, my son? That looks like you want to feed into that. That looks like you want to feed into the Mason Mount haters. That whole campaign that is building so strongly right now. You want to get into that. Yeah? You want to gain that respect. You want to get the more clicks with that whole narrative on the platform. It's piss poor. Shows your focus is on people pleasing. Telling people what they're all trying to say and trying to blame Mason Mount instead of backing your best player for the last 2 years by far. Best GA. First in everything when it comes to the way Chelsea play. Tuchel's most important player, the player who always plays. And you're trying to say that we were so poor in that first half because of Mason Mount. The agenda stinks. And this is pure cancel culture in full swing. Compliments of you, fella. Compliments of you.
A lot of people will have that personal connection to Mason and go, oh, yeah, but it's Mason, and I get
personal connection. I'll tell you what it is. When you say personal connection, yeah, personal connection is the real Chelsea fans, the proper Chelsea fans. They understand Mason Mount. They get Mason Mount. Yeah. They don't call him poster boy and all this nonsense. Yeah. That's all that hipster talk, which is what you're spitting out your gob at the minute. But you see, they get him, they understand him, they value him, they respect him. He's delivered at a football club. So I don't know where you're going, fella.
get that because he's a nice lad.
Yeah.
And he's from Cobham,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he's blue, and we know
Yeah.
the whole
Well, I don't
shebang
think
with
you.
Mason.
I don't think you do know. I don't think you do know because if you do know, you wouldn't be blaming Mason Mount for our first half. You wouldn't be blaming Mason Mount for the way we're playing as a team. You'd be looking at the structure of the team. You'd be looking at the player selection. You'd be looking at the gaffer's limited options in that team selection. But you're not. You want to please all the Mason Mount haters. You want them on board. You want to grow your channel bigger. I get all that. I get all the clickbait. I understand it all. Everyone loves to clickbait. You see, when they bring up Mason Mount's name, oh, he's a no-show, he ghosted, he's not, he needs to be dropped, he needs to be dropped, blah, 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 blah. All that does is feed into negativity. All it does is show that you're not backing the player and you're part of that whole campaign, right? There's no positivity. There's no understanding or context. It's just pure, let's just come at Mason Mount. Isn't it, Younes? Yeah?
And some of the academy lads, especially Mason, as I've said, he's basically like the face of Chelsea Football Club now. Because
he is. He's going to be future captain as well, fella. What are you going to say about that? What are you going to say about that?
That he's brought up through into the team and what he's managed to accomplish.
Yeah.
Got to be
those
honest.
Champions League you celebrating, all the great performances, all those wonderful goals he scored, the highest assist, the highest goal contributions, the highest progressions into the final third and carries of the ball, our best set piece taker, Everything runs through Minnels Mount, but apparently, in your words, because Mason Mount was in the middle, it hindered us, it stopped us. That's why we were so poor in the first half. You absolute waffle merchant, son.
In terms of off the pitch, in terms of being the face, the poster boy.
Yeah, you're naming all these things, right? Poster boy again. That's 3 times said poster boy. It's like coming natural to you. You obviously think that he's a poster boy. You don't look at his footballing abilities. You're not talking about anything that's football related. You're talking about all PR and terms that the haters use. That's what you're doing right now, which is adding more fuel to the fire.
Is popular.
What's it got to do with his
got
looks?
The whole package in that aspect, and fair play to him. He uses it very well.
It's got nothing to do with that. What he does off the pitch is irrelevant. You know, Mason Mount, all he cares about is what he does on the pitch. It's about football to him. All the other stuff is just part and parcel of being a footballer. You're going to name that with Kai Havertz and all these other Reece James and all other footballers about all this nonsense? No, but you want to do it with Mason Mount.
But on the pitch, when you have quality like Sterling and Cucurella that we've implemented into the team, and then you see the moment you take Mason off, all of a sudden they look like they've been playing together for years.
Yeah. But they're on the left-hand side, Younes, mate. Where are you going with this? Did you not understand that Mason Mount's on the right-hand side? Obviously not. Cucurella and Sterling were on the left-hand side. So what argument is that? Why don't you talk about Reece James and Mason Mount instead, and the lovely connection in the first half between Reece James and Loftus-Cheek? Let's have it right. There was no fucking connection. So I don't know what you're talking about.
You got to address it. I'm addressing it. I'm a little bit worried now, and I've said this because I said Havertz and Mason Mount both needed to be dropped.
Oh, really? They both need to be dropped. Dropped for who, Younes? Tell me who you're going to drop them for. Who are you going to play? You're going to play a half-fit Broja, yeah? You're going to play Pulisic because he's your only option. And you have Pulisic, Broja and Sterling. Is that where you're going with it? With a midfield three of Gallagher, Loftus-Cheek and Jorginho? What are you on about, Keezer? Where is your ball knowledge? Shocking.
And they weren't. Havertz somehow lasted 90 today, despite, I'll be fair to Havertz, in the last 20, 25 minutes, he got a lot more involved despite not getting the goal.
Got a lot more involved. Wow. That kid, I'd love to know his kilometres. He was all over the pitch. He was drawing fouls, relieving all his teammates. He was pressing relentlessly. He was back in defence, headering out set pieces, helping his teammates, his defence. He was trying to link up the play. The second goal was his ball carry and his pass to Cucurella, which led to the Sterling goal from the Reece James assist. Havertz did his job. So I don't know what you're talking about. Or you're one of these that wants to drop Havertz. Everyone wants to drop Mount and Havertz, our two best players in our front position that deliver for our football club. But this is what I'm saying, man. Stinky agenda, mate.
But he got a bit more involved and,
a little bit more. You're so passionate, Geezer. You're so positive. You're so you've got your hands like this, congratulating your teammates, really showing what it meant, that win. That win was a massive win in the circumstances. Yeah. But where's the gratitude? They earned their stripes in that game. That was mentality minerals in that game. But you want to throw your 10 pence off, I thought Mount and Havertz should be dropped. Yeah.
Am I satisfied? No. But
you're not satisfied.
At least at times before that, he looked like a passenger.
Right.
But I said that both of them should have been dropped. So the moment I see Mason come off,
see, the whole drop in Havertz and Mount agenda is what all these numpties are doing on their platforms. They love to spread it. They're in this massive cesspool at the minute where they want to force this sort of agenda of let's drop our two players that are desperate to play at our football club, that want to play at our football club, that have delivered at our football club. And when we play our best football, funny enough, they are in the team, right? Especially Mason Mount, yeah. And you want to drop them for players that don't want to be at our football club and players that are not match fit already. So what is that? Is that what you want? So we're even worse? Is that the way you want to go with it? Because it seems that way. Or you're trying to make demands to the gaffer that he's got to do it. What is it?
And I see the way that Chelsea start playing, I feel vindicated. I'm like, well, you see? And that's a conversation
Yeah, you see, because we played a back three, but you lot want the back four. And we got the back four in the first half. And we were shocking in the first half. With 11 men. With the 10 men, we just about hung on. Credit to all the players that held the ball and kept possession so that they don't hit us. And we could get into half time because our gaffer's not in the dugout. And he can go in half time, tweak the system. He didn't have to change Pulisic or anything like that, bring on another attacker. No, he kept his striker, his false nine with Sterling to be compact, to be close to Jorginho and Loftus-Cheek in the double six. So you're bringing Jorginho out from the left in the midfield, back into the middle and pairing with Loftus-Cheek. And he has his outlets for the wing-backs to give us width. That's why we were comfortable, fella. That's why we played better. But you see, the gaffer didn't have those options in the first half. He didn't have the options. And Mason Mount got isolated. He never got the fucking ball. So where are you going with this agenda, mate?
We need to have, because I know some people are going to be uncomfortable with it. Like, no, Mason, you can't drop Mason. No way you can drop Mason. Well, you can. And we did. And look what happened.
No. See, this is your bullshit. We did drop him. No. At half time, it's called a substitution. That's not getting dropped. When you get dropped, son, you're dropped out of the team and you're on the bench. That's called being dropped. But what the correct terminology is for you, and I'll educate you, is that he was substituted for a tactical reason. Because the gaffer had to bring on a defender to go into a back three to ensure that we are solidly defensively sound. Because we cannot afford to lose the game. And credit to my gaffer, by the way, for doing that, yeah? And I praise my gaffer for that. But Mason Mount, unfortunately, was the one that had to be sacrificed. It's nothing to do with his performance, although he never got the ball. And when he did get the ball, where's the support around him? Nowhere to be seen. So use terminology correctly instead of feeding into all these Mason Mount haters and ones with agenda for the clickbait. Yeah? Let's make that very clear.
What happened? Much better. Much better.
You keep repeating
so there's that. But overall, in midfield, we are completely lacking the moment. As I've said, Kante and Kovacic are not on this pitch. It's done.
That's hilarious. So you've gone and spilt all that bangers and mash Mason Mount agenda garbage to then go back to the midfield issue and the fact that we don't have Kovacic and Kante. And let's remind everyone, we brought Kovacic on the last sort of 20 minutes in that game and we looked good, yeah? And the transition was quicker. But we didn't have that in the first half with the back four. So you've just addressed the midfield, but you want to blame Mason Mount for our lack of fluidity, our lack of movement, possession, chance creation. Absolute waffle, son. Waffle. You just muddied yourself there. Literally just don't. Well, I've muddied you anyway.
It's dire. Jorginho,
yeah,
at times offensively, not bad. But overall, my problem isn't offensively with him. Offensively, we know what he can do.
Yeah.
Defensively, man.
Well, he wasn't used defensively in the first half because he was using Gallagher and Loftus-Cheek. That's what he was doing because he knows Jorginho ain't got that. But you know that. And then in the second half, he's in his double six position. His most comfortable position where he excels. And we were compact. And we had to have Kai Havertz and Sterling dig out to help the team because we're a man down. But you know that, obviously. Obviously, you know that, geezer. So the fact that you're bringing up the midfield, but you just spat out all that, tells me one thing and one thing only, right? It's very disappointing from you, fella. You're one of those that sits on the fence like a Cheshire cat. I know that about you. I've seen a little bit of you, and you're very much like that. But to come out here like you got some big bollocks and minerals is very, very poor from someone with a large platform, yeah? And you like to feed into the Mason Mount haters. That's what you've just done. You've tried to gain them all, gain that respect. And to be honest with you, that doesn't show me anything good about you. Nothing at all. Very poor. Very, very poor. Very poor, son.
It's a hole. It's a hole. And when you don't have the right personnel next to Jorginho, he has no protection.
All right, so who did we have next to him? We had Gallagher. Then we had Loftus-Cheek. So you're addressing the problems, but you want to put the whole problems, all the issues on Mason Mount. You talk shit, son. You have just talked shit. I've just muddied you right now on my own platform. There's nothing more to say about it. You're a disgrace, really, mate. You are a disgrace. And your own title says Mount No Show. Mount No Show. But you refuse to explain the reasons why. But I've done that for you anyway. So you can rest now. You can relax. Do you know what I mean?
We know what Jorginho does. I'm not even going to blame Jorginho.
All right,
today.
you're not going to blame him.
Nothing.
Now. But you want to
Because
blame
we
Mason
know.
Mount. You don't blame Jorginho in the midfield, but you blame Mason Mount. Very classy, son. Very, very classy.
Not what to expect, but when you stick a Gallagher next to him, he's got no chance.
He just the geezer's just said it. When you put a Gallagher next to him, he's got no chance. What did we do in the first half, geezer? Oh, mate, you talk waffle, mate. You're a waffle merchant.
It's crazy. I hope Thomas Tuchel's learned from this. I really, really do hope he's learned from this. But my message is
Thank
clear.
fuck he ain't talking to you.
I know we're about to wrap up a deal for Fofana. But in the next
that's interesting. Fofana coming in. If we had Fofana, we might have been able to play the back three against Leicester in the first half, but we couldn't do that. We didn't have the options. Chalobah's on the way out, apparently, from what the brown envelopes say. So even the gaffer had to play Chalobah. So what does that tell you? The gaffer's options are limited. Our midfield is absolutely limited. We're playing two players in Loftus-Cheek and Gallagher. Credit to them for fucking trying as well. Yeah. All right. Especially Loftus-Cheek. Trying his hardest. When he's not a 6, he's an 8. And so's Gallagher. But they do their best. But there's no talk about that. It's all talk about Mason Mount. We want to come at Mason Mount. Do you know why? Because it's clickbait. It just shows you're an attention seeker, that you want that attention because everyone is calling for Mason Mount to get dropped. Yeah. But what the one thing is about Mason Mount, when he plays, he's the glue of the team. And right now, that midfield is not giving him the ball. So if you don't give the player the ball, what do you expect him to do with it? And the ball, when it's given to him, is too slow. The transitions are too slow. But you don't want to mention these things because you want the clicks. And I understand that.
2 days, my goodness. I don't understand how we are not going in for a defensive midfielder. I don't understand.
So a little cheap shot at the gaffer. The gaffer's defensive midfielder is Declan Rice. He can't get Declan Rice. He came out and he said, sometimes players aren't available. So what are you going to do?
It's confusing. And to be honest, as I've said, if Gallagher is going to be playing like this and he gets into the squad, how on earth is Billy Gilmour not here?
All right, I'll tell you about Billy Gilmour, because Billy Gilmour is a replacement for Jorginho. Jorginho's not a defensive midfielder, and nor is Gilmour. So what are you trying to say? This just tells me you don't understand football, geezer. You don't understand actual player profiles and positions. It's very shocking, mate, for someone with over 100k subscribers and has a platform, and you're spieling all this garbage, mate. My word.
And yes, Billy Gilmour defensively, suspect.
Right, so he's gone from saying, why is he not playing Billy Gilmour, who he knows is defensively suspect, but Gallagher has got the ball recoveries and he's built a bit bigger and he's a work engine. So I can understand the gaffer's thought process there. But obviously, Mr. Younes doesn't, does he? Clearly.
But you know what? In terms of moving the ball, in terms of being dynamic, in terms of making something happen, I feel like at least with him, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, and that's what we rely on Georgie to do, don't we? The metronome, the tempo. That's what Gilmour would do. But you're misprofiling, obviously, mate. Is this all you got? This is shocking.
Today, Gallagher just there's not even a word to describe what Gallagher was
playing in a midfield three,
like today. Atrocious.
Yeah.
But as I've said, the point to make is someone like Mason Mount coming off, changing the game. Yeah. Sterling, Cucurella looked fantastic. And fair play to them.
Yeah. Because he's in the wing back position, he can get pushed up with a license to go forward because you've got a back three fella, and that means he can go closer to Sterling on the left side. But on the right side in the first half, you had Reece James as a right back who didn't have the license to go forward. So you have to rely on Loftus-Cheek and Gallagher to deliver the ball on the right-hand side to Mason Mount, which they did not do. And Jorginho was on the left. So it astounds me. Your ball IQ astounds me. Shocking, mate. No minerals, pure agenda, pure clickbait. Where
Reece
else?
James,
what we saying?
Later into the game, really
Reece James got in the game because he's on a right wing back. And this is what I'm saying. This is garbage.
Himself and started taking advantage on that right-hand side. The last 20 minutes or so, or 15 actually, we were on panic mode. As soon as Leicester scored, it was just okay. Bloody hell, defend.
Oh,
We're gonna
right.
have
So
to
we
try
didn't
and
play so
scrape
well
this.
and
And
fluid.
considering we were down to 10 men, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, that's lovely of
Although
you. That's really
I'd
nice.
like to think we shouldn't be in that situation.
Not at 1
in the
ounce
first-
of positivity here. Not 1 ounce of positivity. I mean, I'm done with this fella. To be quite honest with you, it's shocking, mate. It really is. But look, I can understand. You know what I mean? I can understand you're on the other side of the coin here. You know, you got one on the other hand that wants to be heads, and it's obviously a tails for you. But I've just slapped your little arse there. And I'll tell you what, there's no coins here. There's no coins here. It's pure notes. It's called money. And Mason Money Minerals, man, your poster boy, as you quoted, yeah, baller of this football club, future captain, and the gaffer ain't dropping him, mate. The gaffer ain't going to drop him. There's nothing to drop him for. He needs to sort the midfield out. But thankfully, we've got Kovacic at least back until Kante gets there. Do you know what I mean? So, like I say, there's only money on here on Minerals FC. So, like I say, you see them curtains there. Well, it's the Johnny Minerals curtain call for you. Just for you. So it's a good night, sweetheart, and a let's have it right. So let's have it right. Big up to everyone in here. Up the Chelsea, up the Minerals FC. Like and subscribe, people. Very important to like and subscribe. And big up to every single one of you. And thank you for all tagging me in this nonsense. Bangers and mash, waffle, no gravy, no flavour, no herbs, dry as you like, as per. So yeah, that's all I've got to say on the matter. My boy, Minerals man, all those that wanna hate on him and demand him getting dropped, you're attention seekers. I don't know, maybe he ain't been breastfed as a child or something. I don't know, mate. But anyway, big up to every single one of you. Like and subscribe. Membership scheme down below. Up the Chelsea, as always. Up the fucking Chelsea. Let's have it right. Right, Pride of London. London is blue. Let's have it right. Up the Chelsea, up the Minerals FC. Let's go. Have it right, Minerals FC. Gaffer, you got the Minerals, yeah? Love it. Got the Minerals, TT.
Oi, Johnny's got the fucking minerals, mate.